Imagine a life where fear no longer controls you. A life where you face challenges with calmness, clarity, and confidence. What if I told you that Buddhist teachings, which have guided millions toward peace and wisdom for over 2,500 years, offer powerful tools to overcome fear and transform your mindset? In this video, we'll explore 9 profound lessons from the Buddha on how to conquer fear, embrace life with courage, and move beyond your limitations. These teachings will help you understand fear, shift your perspective, and ultimately find freedom from the anxiety that holds you back. If you're ready to break free from fear's grip, let's dive into these transformative lessons. 1. Embrace impermanence. The Buddha taught that everything in life is temporary. Our thoughts, emotions, and even our fears. Fear and anxiety often arise when we resist change. We cling to the idea that things should stay the same, fearing the loss of our job, health, or loved ones. But life is always changing, and the only constant is change itself. Buddhism teaches that attachment to impermanent things creates suffering. When we cling to specific outcomes or worry about the future, we reinforce the illusion that life should remain static. This attachment fuels fear. But the truth is, everything is temporary. The joy you feel today won't last forever, but neither will your pain, anxiety, or fear. When you realize that everything, including your fears, is temporary, you begin to let go of the need for control. Instead of fearing the unknown or worrying about loss, you learn to embrace change as a natural part of life. During tough times, whether you're facing challenges at work, in relationships, or within yourself, remember that this too shall pass. The discomfort you feel now isn't permanent. Anika reminds us that suffering is transient and ever-changing. By accepting this, we free ourselves from the fear of permanent failure or pain. When you accept impermanence, you stop overthinking the future. Instead of imagining worst-case scenarios, you live with more balance and trust that whatever happens will change in time. Anika teaches you to stay present and avoid getting lost in worries about what might come next. Let's understand how to practice embracing impermanence. Reflect on the changing nature of life, seasons, the growth of a tree, or the passing of a day. Recognize that nothing stays the same, and this can help you accept your own changing circumstances. Focus on the present moment. Stop dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Bring your attention to what's happening right now. In doing so, you'll see that even your fears are temporary and will pass. 2. See the fear of illusion. The Buddha taught that much of what we experience is created by our minds. Fear, too, is often based on imagination, the what-ifs that haven't happened yet. By recognizing that fear is a product of our thoughts and not reality, we can separate ourselves from the stories our minds tell us. In this awareness, fear loses its power. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down. Your heart races, your palms sweat. But what's really happening? Are you falling? Are you in danger? Not at all. Your mind is anticipating something that isn't real. Our minds create stories, imagining worst-case scenarios and playing out disasters that may never happen. But here's the truth. Fear is just a thought. It's not a fact. It's a mental pattern that you can break. Fear is like a shadow that disappears when you face it with awareness. Every time you step into something new, you'll feel fear. But that fear isn't a reflection of reality. It's a sign that you're stepping out of your comfort zone and growing. Fear isn't trying to stop you. It's trying to teach you that you're on the verge of something greater. You are not the fear you feel. You are the awareness behind it. You are the strength that faces it. When you see fear for what it truly is, a fleeting illusion, you take away its power over you. Fear is just a thought, and like all thoughts, it can change and pass. The next time fear arises, remember this: it's not real. It's just an illusion. You have the power to let it go, the strength to overcome it, and the courage to live the life you deserve. 3. Practice mindfulness. Sati. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment. Fear often lives in the past or future, creating stories in our minds. When we bring ourselves back to the present through mindful breathing, body awareness, or focusing on our surroundings, we create space between ourselves and our fear. We realize that fear is just a passing thought, not an undeniable truth. Mindfulness helps develop mental stability, allowing you to stay calm even in the face of fear. When you're fully present, you're not reacting impulsively to every fearful thought. Instead, you can pause and choose how to respond. When fear-based thoughts arise, practice observing them without attachment. Sit quietly and notice the thoughts. What if I fail? What if something bad happens? Instead of getting swept away, simply acknowledge them as thoughts. Label them if it helps. Here's fear again. By observing without judgment, you stop identifying with the fear and create space to choose how to respond. Fear also manifests in the body: racing heart, tight chest, shallow breathing, or sweaty palms. Through mindfulness, you can bring awareness to these sensations without trying to escape them. Observe them with curiosity. By acknowledging fear's physical presence without resistance, you start to desensitize yourself to it. The Buddha taught, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." When you observe your fear and its physical effects without reacting, you transform your relationship with fear itself. 4. Understand the nature of suffering. Dukkha. In Buddhism, suffering, dukkha, is a central concept that explains the difficulties we face in life and offers a path to liberation. Fear, as an emotional response, is one form of suffering that arises from our relationship with the world. By understanding dukkha, we can transform our experience of fear and move toward inner freedom. The Buddha taught that suffering is a natural part of life and universal. Fear, anxiety, and worry arise when we face uncertainty, loss, or perceived danger. These emotions are not unique to you but part of the human experience. Recognizing that suffering is universal helps reduce the intensity of fear. When you see fear as a common human experience, it becomes less isolating and intimidating. You realize you're not alone, and this understanding can lessen fear's grip. 6. Cultivate patience. Khanti. Patience is a powerful virtue in Buddhism that helps overcome fear. Fear often arises from impatience, our desire for quick answers, solutions, or control over uncertain situations. When we cultivate patience, we create space for fear to subside and develop the strength to face life's challenges with calmness. Fear of uncertainty and delay often stems from impatience. We want to control outcomes, but life is unpredictable. Patience helps us accept what we can't control and trust that things will unfold in their own time. Patience also helps us tolerate discomfort. Fear often arises when we encounter emotional, mental, or physical discomfort. Instead of resisting or escaping it, patience allows us to stay present with it. Over time, we learn that fear, like all emotions, is temporary. How can we cultivate patience, accept uncertainty, and trust the process of life? Be patient with yourself. Fear of failure often comes from self-judgment. Allow yourself time to grow and learn from mistakes. 7. Cultivate compassion. Karuna. Compassion or karuna is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice and a powerful antidote to fear. Fear often arises from a sense of separation, feeling isolated or disconnected from others. When we cultivate compassion, we shift our focus from our own worries to the well-being of others, which helps dissolve fear's grip. Compassion teaches us to recognize that everyone experiences fear and suffering. When we extend kindness and understanding to others, we realize we're not alone in our struggles. This sense of connection reduces the intensity of our own fears and fosters a deeper sense of belonging. To practice compassion, start by being kind to yourself. Fear often comes with self-criticism and judgment. Treat yourself with the same care and understanding you would offer a friend. Then extend that compassion to others. When you encounter someone who is struggling, offer support or simply listen with an open heart. By focusing on alleviating the suffering of others, you'll find that your own fears begin to lose their power. 8. Embrace equanimity, upekkha. Equanimity, or upekkha, is the practice of maintaining mental calmness and balance, especially in the face of life's ups and downs. Fear often arises when we react strongly to external events or internal thoughts. Equanimity helps us stay centered, allowing us to respond to fear with clarity and wisdom, rather than panic or avoidance. The Buddha taught that life is a mix of pleasure and pain, gain and loss, praise and blame. When we cling to the pleasant and resist the unpleasant, we create suffering. Equanimity teaches us to accept both joy and sorrow with an open heart, recognizing that neither is permanent. To cultivate equanimity, practice observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. When fear arises, acknowledge it without trying to push it away or get caught up in it. Remind yourself that fear, like all experiences, is temporary. By staying balanced and grounded, you can navigate fear with greater ease and resilience. 9. Develop wisdom, prajna. Wisdom, or prajna, is the deep understanding of the true nature of reality. In Buddhism, wisdom is not just intellectual knowledge, but an experiential insight that transforms how we see the world. Fear often stems from misunderstanding, believing that our thoughts and perceptions are absolute truths. Wisdom helps us see through these illusions and recognize the impermanent, interconnected, and empty nature of all things. When we develop wisdom, we begin to see fear for what it truly is, a mental construct based on past experiences or imagined futures. We realize that fear is not an inherent part of who we are, but a passing phenomenon that arises and fades. This understanding allows us to face fear with curiosity and openness rather than resistance. To cultivate wisdom, engage in self-reflection and study of Buddhist teachings. Meditate on the nature of fear, asking yourself, what is fear? Where does it come from? Is it real? Over time, this inquiry will help you see through the illusions of fear and develop a deeper understanding of yourself and the world. Fear is a natural part of life, but it doesn't have to control you. Through the timeless wisdom of Buddhist teachings, you've learned powerful tools to understand, navigate, and ultimately transcend fear. By embracing impermanence, seeing fear as an illusion, practicing mindfulness, understanding suffering, letting go of attachment, cultivating patience, extending compassion, maintaining equanimity, and developing wisdom, you can transform fear into an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. Zrenie, strach nie twój wróg. It's a teacher showing you where you can grow and what you can release. Each time you face fear with awareness and courage, you take a step toward a life of greater peace, freedom, and fulfillment. Each of these practices builds on the foundation of mindfulness, impermanence, and non-attachment, offering a holistic approach to transforming fear into courage and clarity. By embracing these 9 teachings from the Buddha, you can transform your relationship with fear. Instead of being overwhelmed or paralyzed by it, you'll see fear as an opportunity for growth, awareness, and deeper peace. Remember, fear isn't something to fight or repress. It's a part of life that we can learn to understand, navigate, and ultimately transcend through mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. If you found these lessons helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, you have the power to overcome fear and live a life filled with courage, peace, and freedom. Thank you for watching. Share this video with anyone who might benefit from these teachings. Together, we can create a world where fear no longer holds us back, and where we all live with open hearts and fearless minds. Until next time, take a deep breath, stay present, and remember, you are stronger than your fears.